Carnivore motivation. Today, I'm walking around, it's drizzling out. We're gonna talk about carnivore motivation. How do we stay motivated? How can you get motivated? I am coming up on 1 year. Just a few days, it'll be 1 year that I've been a carnivore, and it's completely changed my life forever. My motivation, my why is I was in such a dark and deep and horribly depressing place for most of my adult life. I had inflammation, sleep apnea, insomnia, arthritis so bad in my foot I could barely walk. All of those things are gone, but my biggest motivation is I don't ever want to go back to that depression, that anxiety. I'm going to tell you a quick story here, and I'm going to tell you how you can get motivated on carnivore too if you're thinking about it, or if you're one of those people that you're just kind of on the fence and you're not sure what to do and you're just kind of in this limbo. I remember Christmas time. I think this was 2 years ago, and I was in a deep and dark depression on Christmas, and it was horrible because we had so much family coming over, and you're gonna get honesty from me whether I'm depressed or not. And I hate having to put on a happy face and act like I'm not suicidally depressed and miserable. And that's what was happening that day. Everyone was coming over. I just felt horrible because I'm just this miserable bastard sitting on the couch, not talking to anyone. My girls are trying to enjoy their Christmas and I'm ruining it for people. And my aunt came in and she was like, "Oh, hey, oh, look at the kids, oh, look." And she was so overflowing with joy, and it pissed me off. That's how dark I was. It made me even more sad and even more depressed because in that moment I was looking at her and I realized I will never feel that level of pure joy. And it was pure. It wasn't manufactured. It was pure joy. Just walking in and seeing family, she was so happy and excited. And I'm like, I will never experience that. And it made me even so much more sad. The thing is, the beautiful thing is, wait, shh, can you hear that? It's raining out. Let me show you where I'm looking at here. Oh, you can smell the rain. It's cold and it's raining out. The beautiful thing is, from that horribly sad story, I would have given anything at that moment in my life to just feel normal, to just be baseline. And on this proper human diet, putting the proper fuel in my body, I am the opposite of whatever that deepest, darkest depression was. I have the joy, and probably more joy than my aunt had when she came in the door, and I was jealous of her joy, like the miserable bastard I was with that depression. It's amazing. It's absolutely incredible. I find myself getting more emotional and even crying more and more, and I don't care. And just so grateful and just so thankful. Look at little bear right there. I'm gonna go through this deep woods here. Why not? I am so thankful, so grateful, and so blessed. I know I say it all the time. It's my new mantra, whatever. It is the truth. It is the absolute utter truth. I keep finding myself just like pinching myself, feeling how incredibly fortunate I am to be alive, to feel this good, to have these hopes and dreams and goals I'm going after, to have my family and my girls. It's never happened to me in my life. That is the truth. Maybe when I was a baby, before I started eating sugar and seed oils and all this processed garbage, but it never has happened to me in my life. And so when people say to me, "Why are you so fired up and so passionate? I can't imagine you ever being depressed." How is that even possible? That's how it's possible. I was that miserable bastard in the darkest, deepest depression, getting mad at my beautiful, lovely aunt, thinking jealously that I will never feel that level of joy. And I have now surpassed it. How could I not be motivated? How could I not be inspired? It would be criminal of me to have this amazing thing happen to me and not be motivated to share that with the world. And that's what I'm doing. I'm sharing it with the world right now through this YouTube video. I'm sharing it with the world through a documentary we're working on, Healing Humanity. And so when people are thinking, why? Why should I do carnivore? What's my motivation? People get stuck in this limbo. You just heard my why. Just depression, anxiety. I don't ever want to go to the dark place again. But beyond that, I no longer have arthritis. Beyond that, I no longer have inflammation. Beyond that, I no longer have sleep apnea. I don't snore anymore. If those reasons aren't enough, I would still be doing this. Here's my other motivation, carnivore motivation. Cancer, Alzheimer's, dementia, heart disease. All of these things are metabolic diseases caused by chronic inflammation. And before starting carnivore, I had chronic inflammation. And if you're thinking about starting carnivore and you're not doing it right now, the odds are pretty good you have chronic inflammation right now as you're listening to this. And if you have chronic inflammation, you should be terrified. You really should. And I don't like getting on here and trying to use fear tactics and scare people into doing something, but everyone in the world is scared about my diet and I'm eating meat and I'm going to clog my arteries. And the truth of the matter is, the facts of the matter is, you're far more likely to get one of these horrible diseases if you have chronic inflammation, if you're pre-diabetic, if you're eating a lot of sugar and your body is inflamed. And everyone in the world right now has poor metabolic health and nobody's worried about it. That should be a huge why for you. And I guess my only other advice on this carnivore motivation topic is, imagine you close your eyes, you open them back up, and you're at the end of your life. You have a few breaths left. Are you going to be happy with your life? And how sad are you going to be with your life if you know that you didn't try to behave like a proper human for 1 day, 1 week, 30 days in your life? So many people are going to go their absolute entire lives without ever feeling like I feel. Free from inflammation, free from anxiety, free from fear. I am motivated. I'm full of joy. I'm full of energy. And it's amazing and it's beautiful. And I'm so thankful for it. It's how every human should be, though. It shouldn't be anything special. People see me and they're like, my goodness, look at you. You look like you've de-aged 20 years. I didn't de-age 20 years. I'm 43 years old right now. This is how a 43-year-old should look and feel. And this is how a 43-year-old's brain should function. The problem is the current baseline we have is based on a society, humanity, that is all impaired. They're putting in the sugars and the seed oils and they're all impaired. If you're thinking about doing carnivore and you're one of those people that gets stuck in this limbo of, I don't know, this is... Make a little grid. And on the grid say, do carnivore on the top. And then on the bottom say, don't do carnivore. And then on the top for the if you do carnivore, list what are all of the potential benefits if you do carnivore. Now, if I were to give you my list, it would take 20 minutes and it would take up a couple sheets of paper. I'm not even joking. The number of benefits I have from doing the proper human diet, I don't even know how they fit on that list. Those are the pros. Now put the cons on the other side. If you do carnivore, what are the cons? For me, what are the cons of carnivore? I guess one would be the social interactions, because I'm the odd one out. So that's one con of carnivore. You're the odd one out. What's another con of carnivore? There aren't long-term studies on carnivore. And to the uninitiated, they're going to be like, oh, that means it's bad. There aren't long-term studies on carnivore because nobody's done them, because there's no money to be made. There's no medication at the end of that long-term expensive study. So that would be another con. Now go down to the bottom of this and say, what if I don't do carnivore? What are the pros if you don't do carnivore? Well, you can just keep doing what you're doing. You can keep going along to get along. So you don't have to change anything, and people fear change. So that could be a pro. What's another pro? You don't have to change your food. You don't have to throw out a bunch of your junk food. You can just keep eating that horrible poison junk food seed oil. I guess that's a pro. You don't have to go shopping. And now do the cons of if you don't do carnivore. Like I said earlier, you may go your entire life, blink your eyes, open them up, be at the end of your life. And the con there would be, you're never going to know what it's like to be a proper human. Are you going to have regrets at your old age if you make it to an old age? That's called a decisional balance. I think that's what it's called. There's charts like that online where you can just do a grid, but you can just do what I said and you can write it down. And if you go through and do that exercise, that can help you to pull the trigger and make a decision. When you have it written down on paper and you look at, here's all the pros if I do this, and here's all the cons. And here's all the pros and cons if I don't do it. You got to do the do and the don't. And if you put all that down, that may help you make a decision, and that may help motivate you to do carnivore. If I can't motivate you to do carnivore or do the proper human diet, I don't know who can. My only other thing I would mention is, think of it this way. It is an absolute miracle that you're alive right now listening to this. Think of all of the different circumstances that had to occur. It's a miracle that you're here now. What a shame it would be that you're here now and you would squander this. You're squandering this if you're not eating a proper human diet. I'm sorry, that's the truth. If you're putting the wrong fuel in your tank and you are literally impaired, which is what happens on the standard American diet, the majority of humanity right now is walking around impaired with a brain fog and fatigue, barely getting through the day. That is squandering a life. That is something that is a miracle that you have. There's people at the very end of their life right now. This may be their last breath. This may be their last day. There's people suffering from horrible diseases that may only have a little time left. And you're squandering your life. I mean, that's what I think. And I'm not judging anyone. When I do these videos, people get so upset with me. Oftentimes, I'm thinking of my former self. If I could go back and talk to my former self before doing carnivore, why are you squandering your life? It's an absolute miracle. Shame on you. Are you that big of a coward that you're not going to go 30 days feeling like a proper human? You can't go 30 days without poisoning yourself with sugar and seed oils. You can't go 30 days without just wasting your life away. Shame on you. That's what I'd say to my former self. You can do anything for 30 days. And don't approach this as I'm going to do a meat-only diet for 30 days. You're doing the best elimination diet in the world. You can agree, I can agree, your nutritionist can agree, your doctor can agree. Stopping sugar for 30 days, there's nothing wrong with that. Stopping soda and seed oils and processed foods and ultra-processed foods and glyphosate and pesticides, forever chemicals. Let's just give our body a rest for 30 days, a respite. Your doctor or anyone could agree with that. It's all how you phrase it. So I hope that motivates you. I am a few days shy of 1 year on the proper human diet. And I'm a very honest person. This has absolutely changed my life forever. It's changed the lives of my family, my girls, my wife, my daughters. And it's changing the lives of so many people. I talk to so many people through the blessing of my YouTube channel and people reaching out to me. I've gotten over 75,000 comments. The number of stories I have heard of people that decided to be brave and do the carnivore diet and change their lives forever. Thousands and thousands every single day. I'm getting endless comments. I was horribly and hopelessly depressed, and I am no longer due to eating the proper human diet. I get these comments all of the time. Life is so short. You're going to blink your eyes, and it's going to be over. Don't waste it. Don't squander it. Do an elimination diet for 30 days. I think it'll change your life forever. What do we got? 14 minutes, one cut, no edits. Hope that helped motivate you. Thanks for watching. Peace.